Hi, my name is Bill Graham. Today I'm going to be starting a new series called The Genius Of, where I'll be analyzing the music of some of my favorite songwriters and composers. In upcoming episodes, I'll be taking a look at some music by Stevie Wonder, Joni Mitchell, Frank Zappa, Arnold Schoenberg, George Gershwin, Jerome Kern, Bela Bartok, J.S. Bach, Paul McCartney, and many others. But today I'd like to start off by talking about the genius of Brian Wilson. Okay, so everybody knows that Pet Sounds is a great record, and most people know that Smile is a great record. And a lot of people even know that the Beach Boys Today is a great record. And I love all of those records. I'm going to be addressing their music in future episodes. But today I'd like to talk about a song off of the 1970 LP Sunflower. Got a copy right here. So if you don't know this record, you should definitely check it out. So go to your streaming platform of choice and give it a listen. This is one of their strongest group records. It has particularly strong contributions from Dennis Wilson. But we're here today to talk about Brian. So let's talk about one of my very favorite Brian songs. This is called This Whole World. Maybe let me play through it one time for you first before we talk about it. I'm also going to put the changes up on the screen for you. The main thing I'd like to talk about regarding this tune is Brian's extensive use of modulation. In this short 22-measure form, he moves through 4 different key centers before bringing us back around to the first key center. Let's take a look at how he does it. Okay, so he sets up the tune with this bluesy C7 sharp 9 chord. And from just hearing this one chord, you don't really know what key we're in yet, right? It could lead to F minor, right, because C7 is the 5 chord in F. But what actually happens is it proceeds in the key of C. So this 7 sharp 9 chord is just kind of invoking the blues, and then he just proceeds with some functional diatonic chords. Goes to C, which is the 1 chord, and then to F, which is the 4 chord. And then he goes to E minor 7, which is 3, to G, 5, A minor is 6, and then F is 4. And from this F chord, this F major 7 chord, he uses a common tone modulation. So he goes from this F major 7 to an A. So notice that in F major 7, we've got the notes A natural and E natural. And both of those notes sustain over into this A major chord. And he just very smoothly proceeds in the key of A major now. And he plays 1, 6, 2, 5, 3. And then now there's another smooth common tone modulation where he turns this C sharp minor 7 chord into a D flat major. So C sharp and D flat are harmonically equivalent. We're going to spell this as D flat major because that's a little easier to deal with. and he plays this little 1, and then walks the bass down to 7, and then to 6. Now we're on 6 minor 7, and then walks the bass down again, so we're just on the 1 chord with the 5th in the bass, and then moves it back up to the 6, 5, 4, and now this makes it a 4 major 7, a G flat major 7. We're in the key of D flat major, remember. And now we've got another common tone modulation. This F and B flat are going to hold over, and we're going to go to a B flat major 7 chord. And now we're in the key of B flat, and we're going to smoothly proceed B flat to the 4 chord, E flat, and then back to the 1 chord, B flat, and then this time we've got a pivot modulation. So we go to an F major chord. F major is the 5 chord in B flat, but it's also the 4 chord in C, which is where we're going now, because we go from this F chord to a G chord, which is 5 in C, and then we're back home in C major. And that's it. That's the entire form. It's so richly, densely packed with harmonic information, I guess Brian didn't feel the need to write a bridge or any other sections. He just goes through the entire form, then he goes through the whole form again, and then they pause on a C chord, and right as they start to go through the form a 3rd time, it fades out. So what do we take away from this? Beyond just admiring this great song, what do we learn from it as musicians? Well, now we understand how these common tone modulations work. So we can sit down at the piano, and we can mess around and find all the different little chromatic combinations that you can make happen, and you listen to them and learn what they sound like. And now when you hear those sounds in your head, you can use them in your own compositions and in your own improvisations. So whether Brian was thinking in these specific terms or not is a little bit irrelevant. Now you understand it, and you can use this as another device for your own music making. Alright, I guess I'd better point out the obvious, which is that, of course, Brian didn't invent the common tone modulation. Nevertheless, this tune is an absolute masterclass in its application in the context of a pop song. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you're interested in learning about jazz improvisation, you can buy a copy of my book, Chord Tone Improvisation, a practical method for playing on jazz standards. I'm going to leave a link for this in the description. You can buy it on Amazon. You can also buy a PDF on my website. I'll leave a link for that in the description as well. I think that's about it for today, so I think I'm going to take us out by playing a little bit on the tune.